Well, actually, tinitingnan natin kung paano natin ma-increase yung productivity ng palay. Of course, bigas sa Pilipinas. Sapagkat, alam nyo, magkakaroon naman ng La Nina by expected natin November, according to the Weather Bureau. So, kailangan nating mapaghandaan na maigi. Sapagkat from El Nino, napunta tayo ng La Nina, kapag hindi natin tinayamin yung ating pagtatanim, tatamaan tayo ng food shortage. So what we would like to do right now is, I'm talking to the seed growers. Gusto ko malaman kung gaano karami yung available seeds, sapagkat we have to plant by July. Kasi tatama yung La Nina ng November, July, August, September, October. So kailangan by October nag-harvest yung mga farmers natin. Kaya kino-quantify natin ngayon, tinatanong ko yung mga seed growers, meron bang available? Kasi may pera kami ng pambili at kailangan naming maibigay sa farmers right away. Para kung maitanim ng July, maiwasan natin yung La Nina. We will be able to have enough rice stocks. Right now, ang ating national food rice supply, nasa bodega ng NFA, private warehouses, sa mga households, is good for about 103 days. There is a standby permit to import 500,000 metric tons. Right now, we don't need that. Pero gusto nating makita kung ano ang ating kapasidad na mag-produce ng bigas po.
Sir, kamusta yung meetings sa PICC with the President?
You know what? I was really impressed by the way the President-elect handled the second bigger cabinet meeting. Kasi di ba nung una, konti lang kami. And it was more of a getting to know you. Yesterday, he discussed a lot of things and I was really impressed by the way he handled the cabinet meeting.
Ano yung perspective, sir?
Well, pinag-usapan nila yung, of course, yung initially yung K-12 at pinag-explain niya si Secretary Briones kung anong kanya pananaw. Sabi naman ni Secretary Briones, it's too late in the day to shift gears because napumpisa na ngayong pasukan and there is a law. At sabi ni Secretary Briones, kapag binago yung K-12, the leadership will be violating the law. So basically that's it. But she was open to improvements and modifications. But she was steadfast on her position. At this point in time, there is no way we can amend that or change that kasi meron ng batas. On the other hand, yung kay Secretary Art Tugadi naman, he reported to the President and he proposed to the President on how the traffic problem in Metro Manila could be addressed. And he presented very practical solutions. Like say for example, yung pagkilala ng mga kolorong vehicles na dapat ay mawala sa kalsada. It was a very good proposal. And Secretary Ben Jokno reported that as of the moment, the government still has about 1.7 trillion pesos in the coffers, left with about 6 months to go before the end of the year. And he said that he believes that there is enough money for the new administration to right away implement its programs. Kay Secretary Dominguez, he also actually reported on the proposed meeting of businessmen with the different secretaries on June 20 and 21 here in Davao. And the president is expected to be present on the second day. Ako naman, I reported on my travel because 2 days after he appointed me as his agriculture secretary, I actually started a journey which I called Behind Bukid, which brought me to the different parts of the country. Except for a few island provinces, I have virtually covered the country. And I reported to the President na grabe yung epekto ng El Nino, na kailangan matulungan kagad yung mga magsasaka. And so I propose that we, upon assumption, we start a cash for work program for the farmers and the fisher folk. Sa farmers na may talimang palay, paglilinis ng mga irigasyon, pag-desilt ng mga dams na silted para magkaroon sila ng trabaho. Yung mga corn farmers naman and other crops, they could repair the roads and we will pay them. Yung mga mangingisda naman na naapektuhan din ng El Nino, pwedeng magtulong sa paglinis ng karagatan, mamulot ng mga basura, at babayaran natin sila, magtanim ng mga mangroves para magkaroon sila ng hanap buhay for the next 2 or 3 months. No? Depende sa bilis na makarecover sila. The program is so inclusive that even the badyaws will be drafted in the National Coastal Waters Cleaning Program. And the President also approved the search for the most outstanding coastal communities na gagawin namin on a yearly basis. Ang first awarding will be December. Pipiliin namin yung pinakamagaling na coastal community na walang illegal fishing, merong marine sanctuary, nag-observe ng off-season fishing, walang basura sa coastal waters, at effective mangrove rehabilitation and protection. Ang mananalo dito ay tatanggap ng 10 milyon in funds to be used for livelihood. Also, the President was informed of my plan to engage the badyaws, yung ating mga sea gypsies na nanghihingila, nagpapalimos sa mga kalsada ng Metro Manila. We will engage them in a unique project where they will be drafted as bantay dagat. At ang trabaho nila, pabantayan ay mga dagat na malinis. We will provide them with bangkas para sila ay mamumulot ng mga basura. And we will pay them. Ang isang hiling ko lang na kung maaari ay yung mga anak nila, mapag-aralin nila as a condition to their employment. Ang mag-head po nitong special project na ito is a young badyaw kid from Tawi-Tawi who graduated magna cum laude. And we will be taking him in as the head of that special
Pero
project.
saan nagaling yung 10 million on a yearly basis?
Oh, no, there's money in government. Meron ano.
DA itself?
Yes, of course, DA. And then, meron din kaming isang unique program na i-implement namin, pagkain para sa masa, dahil nga sa statement ng ating presidente na walang Pilipinong dapat matulog na gutom, na walang laman ng sikmura. So, initially, in Metro Manila, we will be putting up arroz caldo feeding stations na pwedeng puntahan ng mga street, mga vagrants, mga street dwellers, yung mga street urchins, mga bata na pakarkalat dyan para makakain sila. We will be doing this program. The DA will be the lead agency. The DOH will be there para paghingin lang ng pagkain, ito check up sila ng DOH. DSW will also be there. And then in the process, we will be putting them in a database. Kasi ang program talaga ng DA is to engage these people into food production. Kasi meron kami eksperimento gagawin, yung greenhouse technology na ilalagay namin sa mga bakanting buhok sa Metro Manila at tuturuan sila ng mga Israelis na magtanim ng kamatis within the greenhouse, kamatis, cucumber, mga gulay na kinakailangan so that they will become productive. All this we are doing because we would like to make, the President would like to make the people feel that this is an inclusive government.
Sir,
Na ang lahat ay...
hindi naman ito parang dole out and encourage more
No.
street
In
dwellers?
fact, it's the first process, it's the first step towards alleviating them from poverty. Kasi hindi man ito pahabang buhay. Kaya nga, iti-check sila ng DOH for the health, and then lalagyan natin sila sa database, iti-training for vegetable growing in the urban area through that greenhouse technology. The good thing about this, yung greenhouse technology na yun, yung Israeli group mismo na yun, ang bibili ng produkto nila. Because yung vegetables to be produced from the greenhouses actually will be very, very good quality vegetables.
Sir,
And you know,
for the cash forward, how much is it?
initially, we're putting up about maybe 200-300 million for the cash forward program. The DA still has money. Mayroon pang naiwan sa 2015 budget, about 2 billion pesos, and that could be used for this program, including the seed procurement. For the 2016 budget, meron pa silang naiwan ng mga 27 billion minus yung mga obligatory mandatory obligations, may maiwan sila ng mga 20 billion. So we're talking here of about 22 billion. But last night, when I presented to the President my findings sa Biyahe Lupit and my proposals, I asked for an additional budget of 30 billion pesos for the next 6 months para yung total agricultural rehabilitation dito na papasok yung pamimili namin ng seeds, pagsuporta sa mga farmers para makarecover sila from the effects of El Nino.
So you described the general mood last night sa cabinet nila.
Pardon?
Yung general mood.
Oh, upbeat. We were all happy. The president was very happy. He was, you know, in a light mood. But he was serious, no? He was serious. And after we left, or before we left, actually, he called the chief PNP, the head of the army, para pag-usapan yung problema sa Sulu. No? And while I'm not privy to what was discussed, when I left, I saw them huddled in one corner, and they were talking about the problems sa Sulu in preparation for the assumption of the president.
On the inauguration, sir, what
Well, inauguration, the president informed us that we could not bring our wife or wives or girlfriends because the space is limited to only about 500 people. So sabi niya, Masas, I would like to invite your family and your friends to come with you. I could not. So kaming mga cabinet members, mag-isa kami pupunta.
So walang mga kasamang...
Wala.
Kayo lang talaga?
Wala.
Meron na kayo nakuhang, kumbaga, nasabi kung sino-sino yung mga guests?
Well, of course, yung immediate family ng ating presidente, yung mga taong tumulong sa kanya during the campaign, who also figured really in the campaign, yung mga cabinet secretaries, yung members ng diplomatic corps, we of course invited. But the guest list, the president told us, will be limited to about 500 people only.
outfit, sir?
Outfit?
How do you think that considering na bihira lang yung president and hindi niyo makakasama pa rin? Anong paranaw ng mga cabinet, incoming cabinet?
You know, it's the president's call. Yan ang gusto niya.
So okay lang sa inyo?
Of course. Paano naman kami masasabi hindi? Hindi nasipa agad kami. Ikaw naman.
So yung pamilya niya, si Mayor, Vice Mayor, sino ba? Sina Hanilet, si...
I don't know. I don't know. I cannot comment on who be listed there. I cannot.
So wala pa na pag-usapan sa DNR, sa DNLG.
Then, si Mike Sueno na.
Ano yung sa DNR?
DNR wala pa. So far wala.
Sir, may mga malinaw na directives na ba si Presidente kahapon after yung presentation? Meron mo ba siya na ito, i-prioritize din yung
Oh yes, based on the presentations he asked us to do, it would appear that he was really concerned with yung K-12. He was concerned with available and affordable food. He was concerned with the security. He was concerned with how much money there is to make people feel that they're being served. Ito yung mga major issues na, and of course yung traffic na Metro Manila.
Sir, ano yung marching orders niya sa inyo tungkol sa smuggling? Onion, rice,
No,
garlic?
no smuggling. No smuggling. And I talked to Nick Fildon last night. There will be a collaboration and convergence of efforts between the DA and the customs. In fact, I'll tell you a story. Nick Fildon was already working with me actually. I already took him in as undersecretary for regulations. Noong sumasama na siya sa akin sa Biyaheng Bukid. Nung nasa Mindoro kami, biglang tumawag yung Davao, pinapunta siya ng Davao. Kaya biniro nga, sabi ko, baka pabalik mo ito, ikaw ang secretary, ako ang undersecretary. And that was only later on when I found out that he was appointed as, he was named as Customs Commissioner. And I'm very happy. Nick Fildon is a very upright person and I believe there will be reforms in the world.
Anong general instructions na lahat ng cabinet members?
Well, we were told by the president, sabi niya, there should be no corruption in government. Make sure that there is no corruption. Nobody from me or my family will interfere with your job and your work. I'm giving you the free hand to choose your people who will work with you. But at the same time, sabi niya, you are answerable to me for whatever misdeeds the people you have chosen will do. So ganun kasimple yung kanyang instructions. He trusted us. Sabi niya, I trust your judgment. At kung ano man ang desisyon na gagawin ninyo as far as the selection of your undersecretaries. By the way, let me introduce to you Undersecretary incoming, no? Undersecretary Attorney Rani Bayd Langganen. She will be Undersecretary for special concerns and conflict areas, especially in the Bangsamoro area. I need somebody to really help me. And of course, Undersecretary designate Evelyn Lavinia for high value crops. We have here Assistant Secretary Hansel Tedulu for Visayas, no? And my recommending for the National Irrigation Administration, recommending ko kasi technically hindi under sa akin yung niya si Director Cesar Sulay, and of course my nominee for the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, retired Commodore Eduardo Corona.
So, ano yung sinabi ni President-elect na pag meron kayo sa anong mangyayari sa inyo?
Oh yes, of course, we're accountable for whatever missteps we make. Very clear yung kanyang statement. Walang corruption. Sabi niya, walang corruption. No, of course. Wala pa namang corruption na nangyayari.
No, wala siyang warning na kapag kayo ay
I
nag-deviate.
think it follows. No, I mean, when he told us that you're accountable to me, you can do whatever you wish, you can do whatever you feel is right and proper, but you're answerable to me. And I know the mindset of this president. This president, would relieve the whole department in the City Hall the moment na may isang nagkamali. And I think that still would be the same mindset that he will have as president. Yung accountability.
So from the sec to the janitor pa rin, tanggal.
Of course, I think that's the way it will go, no? Hindi naman siguro yung janitor siguro wala.
Pero yung sabi niya eh,
Hindi.
yung diba? Mula sa taas
Yes,
ng
yung-
janitor.
Ako, okay lang, sabay-sabay kami. Kapag nagkasala ako, di sabay-sabay kami.
Telling you parang nobody is indispensable.
Nobody's indispensable. Nobody's indispensable. Walang holy cow dito. We are all answerable for any decision or wrong decision that we make, any step that we take or missteps that we take.
Sir, na-discuss mo ba kahapon, you mentioned tungkol dun sa Manila traffic, yung pagbibigay ng
Yes.
emergency powers?
No, that was briefly proposed by Secretary Tugade, and it was referred to incoming presidential legal chief attorney Salvador Panelo. And by the way, let me also mention that based on my recommendations for him to make a policy statement on the Coco levy, President-elect Julio Duterte, directed Secretary Panelo to look into all of these the legal requirements, no? to release the money to the farmers. Ang sabi niya lang, that is an emotional issue. Even my mother, contributed to the Coco levy funds. It should be returned to the farmers. It should be given to the farmers. And sabi niya kay Atty. Panelo, Sal, look into this. I really would like the Coco levy funds to be given back to the farmers.
Sir, balikan ko lang yan. When you say it was referred to Presidential Legal Chief Panelo, ibig sabihin pinag-aaralan po, is it being
Hindi
taken?
kasi meron pa namang mga legal requirements, di ba? Pag-aralan mo kung paano mo i-implement yung pag-release ng Coco levy funds.
Yung sa emergency powers po sa traffic.
Traffic, sir.
It was proposed by Secretary R. Tugade, and ang pagkaintindi ko was that it would be referred to the legal minds kung ano ang extent ng powers na yan. Yes.
Pag-aaralan yun.
Pag-aaralan.
Taken into consideration.
Yep.